When Gypsy Rose Blanchard was released from prison on December 28th of 2023, the world expected a fairy tale. Instead, a celebrity was born. But behind the smile and selfies, Gypsy sent a different message, calling social media a doorway to hell. After a life trapped in the public eye by her abuser, her biggest fight for freedom might be against the very public that now celebrates her. This is why, for Gypsy, true healing has to begin in solitude. To understand why Gypsy is stepping back, you have to remember the prison she was in before she ever saw a cell. For decades, she was a prisoner of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, who had Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Dee Dee faked her daughter's illnesses for sympathy, shaving Gypsy's head and forcing her into a wheelchair. Gypsy's childhood wasn't just abusive, it was a forced public performance. So when Gypsy was released after serving over 8 years for her role in her mother's murder, she walked into a different kind of cage. Paparazzi and millions of followers scrutinized her every move. Her marriage and public separation just 3 months later became front page news. Gypsy realized the attention celebrating her freedom had become its own prison. She was no longer being watched by her mother, but by millions of strangers. Gypsy's decision to wipe her social media was a survival tactic born from decades of trauma. She told her followers on TikTok, "I am not a celebrity. I am a trauma survivor who is healing from emotional, mental, and medical abuse." For a woman never allowed an authentic life, the glare of millions was a terrifying echo of her mother's controlling gaze. Healing is messy, and her mistakes were broadcast globally. Her public separation from her husband is a perfect example. A painful private decision became gossip. In a statement, she said, "I'm learning to listen to my heart. Right now, I need time to let myself find who I am." That kind of self-discovery is nearly impossible under a microscope. The solitude she seeks isn't about her being alone. It's about creating a quiet space where her own voice can finally be louder than the noise of public opinion. Gypsy's journey raises big questions about trauma and a survivor's right to privacy. If you find these kinds of psychological deep dives interesting, subscribe for more content that goes beyond the headlines. For Gypsy Rose Blanchard, solitude isn't isolation, it's control. First, her mother controlled her, then the prison system, and finally public expectation. By deleting her social media, she is taking the wheel for the first time. She will share parts of her story through controlled projects like her Lifetime series, but she's drawing a hard line between her public story and her private life. That boundary is a vital step for any trauma survivor. She is openly committed to therapy and working through her past to protect the fragile peace she is building for herself and her new family. Her choice to pull back isn't a retreat, but an act of incredible strength. The choice to define freedom as the right to be seen only by those she chooses. The world may want to watch Gypsy's every move, but her story is a powerful reminder that some healing can only happen when the cameras are off. She has spent a lifetime as a public spectacle. Her request for solitude isn't a celebrity shunning in the spotlight, but a survivor finally reclaiming her life. The most supportive thing the public can do now is grant her that wish, because the most important part of her story is the one that will happen in private.